Welcome to the tournament briefing for the 2018 Whanau National Touch Championships, being held at Pullman Park, Takanini, from the 2nd to the 4th of March 2018. Please ensure that you have your manager's pack with you as we go through this briefing. Touch New Zealand would like to extend our thanks and acknowledge our major partners: Whanau, Tech 5 Recruitment, SAS Sport, Fit 360, ACC Sports Smart, Silver Fern, MyFM, the Drug Testing Company, Recruit IT, Panasonic and Uffy. For your assistance during the tournament, for all tournament related issues, please make contact with Pam Hyde, the tournament manager, who will be based at Tournament HQ. For all communications and social media inquiries, please contact Tamara Keefe, who will also be based at Tournament HQ. In regards to any partnership and player bios for TV, these inquiries go to Sandy Hackett, who will be based at Tournament HQ. We acknowledge our referee manager on site, Vanessa Smith, who will be based at the Referee HQ area. All queries in regards to the referees are to go via tournament control. We also acknowledge our event staff who will be on site. If you need any assistance, please look for these members who will be identifiable in high-vis vests. Communication during the event. Primarily, we will be communicating with provincial tour managers. However, if your province does not have a tour manager, we'll communicate directly with team managers. Please ensure that you have provided your mobile number for any contact. We will also have daily communication notices available at Tournament Control from 9 AM. It's important that each team manager and tour manager come to control and pick this up. For generic information, we refer you to the Touch New Zealand website and the Touch New Zealand social media sites of Facebook. For all general on-field announcements, please listen out to our sound system announcements calls, as this will identify any changes in fields for you. Once again, communications are via our tour managers, and in cases where there is no tour manager, it will be team managers. For all results, the results will be put up on our results board, which will be situated outside the Referee HQ. Please allow 20 minutes following the conclusion of your game for results to be up. If you note that there is any result errors, please come up to Tournament HQ and speak to a staff member. At the end of each day, Touch New Zealand will put the results for the grades up on our Touch New Zealand website, which is www.touchnz.co.nz, under the Events tab and Nationals. Injury management at the event. On site, we're pleased to advise we have St John's available for serious injury and our new physio rehab group supplying physiotherapy support. We will also have the Fit 360 warm-up and activation areas. In regards to on-field injury management, the process is below. The manager is to assess the injury status, flag down an event staff member for injury assistance if the injury is major. If it is safe to remove the player from the field of play, then do so. If not, please leave the player on the field until an assessment can occur. Our event staff, once flagged down, will communicate to St John's and the physiotherapy team to identify the injury and to provide some guidance in regards to the management of this. Please note that we have a number of non-approved injury support items for this event. Players are not able to wear braces, splints or casts. The approved items for any injury management and injury support are K-tape, rigid tape and Tubi grip. As part of delivery of the event, Touch New Zealand has a risk management plan in place for hot weather and wet weather conditions. As such, we note that for hot weather, the drinking station is available at the front of Tournament HQ for filling all water bottles. Each province and each team has been advised they are able to have a shelter erected in the specified sites. In regards to wet weather, a communication will be released to tour managers in their first communication notice in regards to the procedure and process should any games be cancelled due to any wet weather conditions and unsafe playing surfaces. Our risk management plan takes into account primarily player safety. As you can see from this diagram, there are a number of areas that feed into player safety. Please note specifically the evacuation procedure. Should anything occur at this park, the evacuation point of contact is out in the car park at the back of Tournament HQ building. We ask that each tour manager and manager have a list of their teams and, in case of emergency, undertake a roll call to check that all players are safe and in the evacuation site. All of our food vendors on site hold current licences. All water available on site has been tested and is suitable for drinking. The medical support staff will be once again in the partnership village, and each province has been able to provide and put up shelter for during the event. The parking on site is also part of the risk management plan. The parking, we ask that you have parallel parking to ensure that we have enough parks for all participants and spectators. For venue traffic management, the main car park at Pullman Park is via Walters Road, Gate B. Parking is parallel. As such, please ensure you park in a manner that allows other vehicles to align in the car park. There are a number of out-of-bounds areas at the park. There is to be no parking on any grass areas. Towing will occur if we are parked on grass areas. Please do not park on any roadside with yellow lines. And importantly, please ensure you do not park across the access ways for our ambulances. If we are able to ensure that we do not block any cars in, as often during the day our teams come and go depending upon game times. Vehicle access to marquee sites is limited. There are to be no vehicles left on the sites behind marquees. They are all to be taken out and left in the parking areas. Parking access is off Walters Road via Gate A, B or C. Pedestrian access between playing venues is via the pedestrian crossing by the food vendor village. We ask that you use this as often as possible. The park is alcohol and smoke free. As such, please ensure that you provide this information to any spectators and your teams. Vehicles can access parking from 6:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. daily. As a reminder, spectators are to remain behind rope areas at all times. These also include teams who are watching and supporting. The roped off areas are to ensure player safety and official safety to ensure a good running area space around our field of play. Touch New Zealand Sideline Behaviour Protocols. Please be aware that these are in place for the event. Touch New Zealand has a sideline behaviour program, UFI. We will have our UFI ambassadors walking around the fields and identifying any sideline behaviour issues. The escalation process for these is such that it will be reported by the event staff should it occur to the tournament manager, who will request provincial tour managers to the field of play via the on-field sound system. Touch New Zealand and the provincial tour managers will address the behaviour and identify what further steps are to occur. Please note that Touch New Zealand does have the right to remove anyone from the fields should their behaviour warrant this. We are sure this won't happen at this event. However, Providing this information will make you aware of the steps that can occur. For tournament-specific information, I refer you to your manager's pack, the conditions of entries, scorecards, uniforms, eligibility, stand-down players, coaching positions, protests and appeals, final showcase and presentations. In regards to protests and appeals, any protest must be lodged within 15 minutes of a game concluding. There is a $50 protest fee that must accompany the written protest. All protests are to be completed at tournament control. Player eligibility. All players must meet the Touch New Zealand eligibility policy. As such, any player who requires a draft or transfer must have submitted this 14 days prior to the event for consideration. Provincial uniforms. These are as per your province's approval. There are to be no items worn on the field of play that are not approved by your province. For scorecard and any scorecard disputes. Touch New Zealand will be utilising a scorecard system that shows the touchdown scorer's number. As such, at halftime, managers are to approach the referee to ask the halftime score. If you agree to the referee's score, please go back to your sub boxes and the game will continue. If you do not agree, then both managers are to come in to resolve this issue with the referees. The aim is to try and resolve any dispute for the first half at halftime. At the conclusion of your game, if you are in agreement with the scorecard result, please sign the card. Should you not agree with the card and it is incorrect, do not sign and lodge a protest at tournament control within the 15-minute period. Once a protest is received, Touch New Zealand will investigate the matter by referring back to the on-field referees and the opposing team manager to get some clarification. The scorecard that we are using is as seen here. It will have each touchdown beside it, the player playing number who has the touchdown result. As such, it will have halftime score written on the card and then the team score being the final score. It will also note any sin bins and any sent-offs, and it will note any non-playing members, i.e. your stand-down players, should you have 16 players. For your excess players, your non-playing reserves for each game. You can have up to 16 players registered per team. However, prior to the game, you must approach the official referee and advise the referee of the numbers of your stand-down players, which they will record on the scorecard. Stand-down players must wear training uniform in the sub-box during the game. They cannot be in a playing singlet. The interchange sub-box area. Only those players and team officials registered on the team registration form are allowed in the sub-box. Please note the change this season. All those in the sub-box must be wearing closed-in shoes. All interchanges must occur within the sub-box area only. Players and team officials are to stay in the sub-box during the game. Should a coach leave the sub-box and go down to the try line, they must remain mute at all times. There can be no coaching from the try line. Equipment in the sub-box. Only approved equipment is allowed in the sub-box. As such, there are no umbrellas, gazebos or seats. As we proceed through the tournament and get to semi-finals and finals, the drop-off rule will occur. At the end of the game, a siren will occur to identify the conclusion of the game. Should the score be even, we move straight into the drop-off. This is to start immediately without delay. The team who won the toss taps off and commences the drop-off. Should there be a knockdown, the touch count will restart. The right of reply. Before a result can be declared in extra time, both teams must have had possession. The hooter system. The 2-minute period is managed by tournament control and communicated over the loudspeaker system by hooters. The Touch New Zealand Playing Rules 8th edition. Please refer to Rule 4 to 8 for the details of the playing rules for the drop-off. The finals information for our grand finalists on the finals field. For the managers of the 21s and open grades, as soon as you qualify for the grand final, you are to come to Tournament HQ to confirm your captains, vice-captains and name pronunciations, and provide any team bios that have been left off. Teams are required to be at the entrance point to the finals field 10 to 15 minutes before the match. Players will be called onto the field of play in number order. Captains will be called first. Players are to run out onto the 10-metre line, face the opposing team as names are called. Teams are then to move forward, shake hands and go to their respective sub-box in preparation for the 2-minute music. The presentation format for all medals will be as detailed. For Youth and Open medal presentation will be held beside the finals field. Site information at Pullman Park. Once again, we will have the spick and span toilet trailer at the back of the building available for all participants and spectators. Water stations are at the front of the tournament building beside the finals field. Marquees. We have approved sites for marquees and gazebos. All requirements for these sites must come through the tournament manager prior to the tournament commencing. Food vendors. Once again, the food vendors will be in the food vendor village and available throughout the course of the tournament. Tournament HQ will be situated upstairs in the building. This is accessible from the front stairs beside the finals field. We will have security on site overnight. Please ensure that you do not leave any items on site overnight. Referee queries. At half-time only, the team captain or coach can approach the referee for ruling clarification. For any hazard identification around the park, please ensure that if you identify a hazard, you report this to tournament control immediately. The field map. As you will see from the site map, we have 13 fields plus the finals field running. Field numbering will be provided via email on Thursday evening. The marquee sites M1 is for marquees and gazebos. The marquee site M2 is for marquees only. The E on the map identifies our evacuation point in the car park should anything occur. Requirements and further information. Paperwork requirements. Your final team registration form with players' playing numbers and all team officials are to be handed in or emailed to pam@touchnz.co.nz by 7 p.m. Thursday the 1st of March. Please ensure that you have the final team registrations in within this time frame to enable player eligibility checks and information to be provided over to our selectors group. All AFI promise agreements are also to be handed in or emailed in along with the team registration. We will be doing player bios for all teams that make grand finals on the finals field. As such, please ensure that once you receive the request for a player bio, you complete these urgently and get them back to Tournament HQ. Compression garments. Compression garments can only be worn if a dispensation approval based upon medical certification has been provided 10 days prior to the tournament. As such, all approval compression garments are sent through to our referee group to ensure that the referees are aware who has approval. As part of the referee check, they'll be ensuring that players are not wearing any unapproved items. For tournament rules, please ensure you make yourselves aware of Rule 5 and Rule 22. These are in regards to the running of the event and any behaviour issues on site at the park. Touch New Zealand, due to weather conditions, is able to change the format of the event should it be required. This is in extreme situations, and notification for any such action will be via tour managers prior to it occurring. For all sideline behaviour, please note that all match officials, referee support officials, Touch New Zealand advisory panel members or Touch New Zealand tournament officials have the right to instruct any person to immediately leave the park and or the surrounding playing area should the conduct of the individual be considered to be threatening, abusive or bring the game into disrepute. Once again, we do have our sideline behaviour protocol that we will be referring to should it be required. Again, player eligibility is governed by the Touch New Zealand eligibility policy. Please ensure that your team has all your players completed on the team registration form and met the eligibility for the event. Our Touch Fit 360 warm-up zone will once again be on site. Touch New Zealand support member care and wants to see as many players on the field, not out of action on the sidelines. To assist all teams, the warm-up zone is available to learn warm-ups that are specific to our sport and will reduce and ensure that our players remain on the field of play injury-free. Thank you for taking the time to be part of this tournament briefing. For any further information, we refer you to the Manager's Pack and the tournament rules. Good luck to all teams. We look forward to seeing you on Friday.